Welcome back to part 2 of my Easy Reach perfume rotation videos. I am refilming this introduction because when I filmed it originally up in my bedroom where the perfume cabinet is, there was lots of road noise and I had my mic inside my shirt and the shirt was rustling against the mic. So I thought I would refilm an intro really quickly here at my desk while I'm editing the video. The first video in this series was me showing you all of the perfumes I've rotated out of my little cabinet upstairs in my bedroom. All of my perfumes are kept down here in the office, but I do keep a subset of my perfume wardrobe upstairs in the bedroom just so they're within easy reach and I don't have to walk all the way down to the office in order to put on my perfume for the day. So if you're new here, then welcome. My name is Cherie. I talk about mostly fragrances on this channel, although sometimes I do talk about other things as well, like dogs and holidays and plants. And this year in particular, I'm talking about perfume in the context of not buying perfume because I'm on a no-buy for this year. And what I really want to do this year is get a really good understanding of what perfumes I own and how much I really like them. And also I have boxes and boxes and boxes of samples of perfumes that I still have not had a chance to get to. So that's kind of one of my projects this year, is to try and get through as many of those samples as I can, to just not necessarily to use up all of the samples, but to at least have smelled them all and made notes on all of them so that I at least have an idea of what I've tried and what I like and what I don't like. So that is me. I'm going to close out this intro now and we'll just get back into the original footage of me showing you the perfumes that I have put into my perfume cabinet upstairs in my bedroom. Enjoy. Well, as it turns out, the road noise in the original clip was way too loud, so I have decided to do a voiceover instead. So the first bottle I'm showing you is Chergui by Serge Lutens. I have been through a few decants of this over the years and really wanted a bottle, but it took me ages to get to it. Chergui is a lovely honeyed tobacco amber fragrance. It's very formal smelling and arguably quite masculine leaning as well. I typically like to wear it when I'm dressed up to go out for the evening. Next is Ylang Nosy B by Perris Monte Carlo, and I apologise for the terrible lighting. This is a really lovely vanilla Ylang scent. The vanilla almost seems like a vanilla powder to me, and I really had a moment with this late last year and I'm still enjoying it immensely. Next is Fil de Joie by Serge Lutens. This is a very intoxicating, very sensual night blooming jasmine and Ylang scent. I think it's Ylang. I'm still getting to know it, but it's very musky and heady. The opening smells a little bit of cough syrup to me, but that dissipates pretty quickly. And it's not really an easy one to wear, but I look forward to trying it in the cooler months. Next is Agent Provocateur. Lots of rose and musk and patchouli and spices in this fragrance. And I haven't worn it for a really long time. Again, it's quite a polarizing scent and some really love it, others really hate it. I've quite missed it. I almost decluttered it at one point and I wasn't able to sell it, and so I have now fallen back in love with it, so I'm keeping it. Orchidee Vanille is a lovely orangey vanilla scent, really nice for cooler months and nighttime. Again, this has been in the cabinet for a few months as well, and I'm keeping it in for this rotation. Tubereuse 2, I have talked about this one recently in, I think it was my January haul video. I'm still getting to know it. The more I wear it, the more I like it. I was actually meant to buy Tubereuse 1, but I picked this one up by mistake, so I'm still enjoying it, but it's probably not my favourite Tubereuse fragrance, to be honest. Bewitching Yasmin. I bought this a couple of years ago and have barely worn it. It's a very lovely, spicy, woody, floral, ambery scent. It does hearken a little bit to Oud Bouquet, but it's not as sweet. It's more spicy and woody, and it also has more jasmine than rose in it. Poison Eau de Parfum. Everyone's pretty familiar with this, I imagine. It's been a long time since I've even paid any attention to this one. I'm enjoying becoming reacquainted with it. I find it to be green and plummy in the opening, and it's a very interesting fragrance. Next up is Tender Romance. This is one of Matt's favourites on me. It's a really pretty, sweet, ambery floral. I think it has some kind of a caramel note, but I can't remember. I think it is meant to be spicy, but I don't really find it to be that spicy, to be honest. I do get a benzoin note in here though, so maybe it is that imparts a bit of a spicy element to it. It's really pretty and I like to wear it to bed. Next is Coco Noir. I really struggle with this at times, as you probably are aware if you've watched any of my videos on it. It does have a tendency to give me a headache, and the patchouli in here I find to be quite sharp and scratchy. But the scent itself is really appealing to me. I definitely don't wear it in the warmer months, but I'm looking forward to trying it again in the cooler evenings of autumn and winter. Next up is Shalimar Millésime Vanilla Planifolia. That is such a mouthful. This is a lovely vanilla heavy Shalimar flanker. I like it, but I probably prefer the Filtre de Parfum. But this one is really nice and I will enjoy it in the cooler months. I did try to wear it over the summer and the vanilla tended to be a little bit too much for me at times. This one has excellent staying power, so I would smell it all day and I would tend to get over it within a few hours. I just don't want to smell like vanilla all day long. This is Hiram Green Shangri-La. This has also been in the cabinet the entire time and it's staying in. This is a lovely natural perfume, very ambery and spicy, and I find it to be very calming. I like to wear it to yoga a lot. This is Rococo by Thion Reintel Natural Parfums, or TRNP. If you saw my recent empties video, you will have seen that I finished off Nefertum, also by TRNP. So I have decided in this rotation to pull this one out. It's a very opulent white floral. It's very natural. It's a very vintage style kind of fragrance. It feels very majestic. Ruby and Vanilla Intense by EBK Parfums. This was a gift from my friend Emma and I really do enjoy this one. It's a very unusual fragrance. It's just so odd. I feel like it has a lot of woody notes in it, but it's also kind of fruity. It's very opulent and I enjoy wearing it, but I'm still trying to get my head around it. Sandalwood Temple, one of my favourites, as you know. It's a beautiful musky, sweet sandalwood fragrance. Sandalwood and cedar, I guess, with a subtle incensey kind of note. I wouldn't necessarily classify it as a sweet fragrance, but as a primarily woody fragrance. It does have a bit of a sweet edge to it though. So that's it for the top row. On the second shelf, we have Shalimar Filtre de Parfum, which I referred to earlier. This has been in the whole time and it's staying in because I love it. Champs-Élysées EDT by Ylang. I have missed this one. I used to wear it a lot at nighttime to bed. It's a beautiful, I think, mimosa heavy fragrance, but it smells like a really expensive skin lotion. Clean, fresh and floral. This is Allure Eau de Parfum by Chanel, a very lovely vintage style peachy floral with a heap of aldehydes. Velvet Splendor by Goldfield and Banks. This is my glamorous fragrance. I have talked about this a fair bit as well. I feel like a 1950s Hollywood starlet when I wear this. I feel like I need to be wearing a very opulent gold velvet robe around the house. It just has that feeling about it. It's beautiful. Fleur de Peau, this was already in the cabinet and I did think about changing it out, but I have been really enjoying wearing this one to work lately, so I've just been leaving it in for now. I was really enjoying it and I don't want to force it out if I'm making use of it. And basically this is an irisy, ambrette, musky floral. It's really lovely for spring, and given our autumn is pretty much like spring everywhere else in the world, I think it still works. La Panthère, I love this and I've missed it. It's a gorgeous chypre, oak mossy and floral at the same time. I feel like I used to get vetiver from it. It's a bit soapy as well. It's been a long time since I wore it. I don't really remember that much about it, but I do know it's great for work and it lasts all day long. Ooh La La by Théo Cabanel. I struggled to get the footage of this one, so I'm sorry. This is a really lovely iris and sandalwood. I only got this a few months ago and I really adore it. Chanel number 19 Eau de Parfum. I mentioned this in my previous video that I switched out the poudre for this one. Not much to say about this one. It's a beautiful green irisy fragrance, a heap of galbanum in there as well as aldehydes. I really adore it. It does have a bit of an old school vibe about it. Amorous Femme by Maison Francis Kurkdjian. I had this in before as well, but I actually didn't reach for it. It's a very pretty but also odd kind of vanilla floral. Sometimes it comes off as woody to me and other times quite aromatic and floral. It's really refreshing and I think it'll do well in the cooler months just because it is quite powerful, but it's also quite fresh. Kintsugi or Kintsugi by Masque Milano. This is one of my absolute favourites. It's also an interesting spicy floral, got a bit of a suede tone to it. It's also a little bit sweet but not too sweet. When I first tried to spray it on, it reminds me a bit of dried grass or perhaps wheat or something. It's a bit smoky as well and I just adore it. It's really super powerful as well. Insolence Eau De Toilette. I used to have the EDP but I got rid of it. The EDP was just too much for the climate that I live in, unfortunately, but this works really well. It's a beautiful candied violet, quite sweet and a little bit more airy than the original EDP. I've become quite attached to it actually, and this is going to sound really weird, but I've been spraying it in my underwear drawer. I don't know. I mean, particularly my sports bras and stuff, I tend to spray those when they come out of the wash before I put them away. And I just like how it gives them a soft fragrance, but it's not too much. It's a bit of a weird confession, but there you go. Samsara Eau de Toilette by Ylang. I haven't worn Samsara for ages and I'm so excited to wear it again. I'll bring the EDP out closer to the dead of winter. This one I think is better for the transition months because it is a little bit lighter and not as heavy. I just really like this one. I find it really easy to wear and I quite like wearing it at night time. Untitled by Maison Martin Margiela. A really lovely green floral fragrance as well. This one also has a bit of a smoky note in it, which makes it quite interesting. It's still very fresh though and kind of a bit soapy, and I think it works really perfectly in the transition months. Valeur de Roses, I talked about this on the live stream that I did with Pep the Sentinel the other week. This is a really interesting patchouli heavy rose scent. It's not what I expected at all. When I smell it out of the atomizer, it kind of smells a little bit like pink musk sticks, which is an Australian confectionery, but it doesn't smell at all like that when I spray it on. When you wear it, there is definitely more patchouli and the pink musky vibe sort of hides in the background. I'm still getting to know it, but it's very interesting. Sevilla Lobe, also by L'Artisan Parfumeur. This is an interesting honeyed orange blossom. It's got a very waxy feel to it and it's not one that I tend to wear in the warmer months. It's quite heavy and dense. But I like it because it's very interesting and it's an orange blossom fragrance that isn't super sweet or weighed down by vanilla notes like a lot of other orange blossom fragrances are. So Nude by Costume National. We all know I love this one. This is a gorgeous spicy tuberose scent. I like it because it's quite different from the popular tuberose fragrances. It does have a cumin note, which is not for everyone, but I think it works really well and it's not overdone. So it just gives it a very sexy, alluring pull to it. I look forward to wearing this one again. Solar Blossom, another orange blossom, but this one has a lot more brightness to it. It's quite sweet and I get an effervescence from it that really does remind me of Spain when all the oranges are out. It's just gorgeous. Orchid Soleil, now discontinued. I struggled with this one a bit. It can be a little bit cloying in the heat, but it's a solar type of fragrance having a creamy chestnut gourmand bent to it. So as I say, it can be a little bit too much in the heat, but it's a really interesting fragrance and once it warms up on your skin, it is quite beautiful. Dusson Edt by Diptyque is a beautiful, bright, fresh tuberose dominant white floral. The EDT is slightly green and not too sweet. It's more floral than sweet, but it's just very fresh and bright and airy and lovely. And I did wear it over summer quite a bit, and I will continue to wear it in the cooler months. Narciso EDT is a very old favourite. I brought this one out because I recently reviewed Musc Noir Rose, which is the new flanker from this house. I can't remember if this one or the EDT for her came out first, but this one is one of the earlier EDTs from the house, and it's still my favourite from the line. Next up is Woman by Ralph Lauren. This opens as a really sweet bubblegummy tuberose, but the sweetness dies down throughout the wear and it just becomes a really beautiful, creamy, fresh smelling tuberose. I really enjoyed this for a short period. I brought this one back out because I thought maybe I had gone off it and I was thinking maybe I would get rid of it. But then I wore it the other day and I got stopped by a woman in the store who asked me to write down what I was wearing on a piece of paper so that she could go and buy it. So there you go, the ultimate compliment. This is Stella by Stella McCartney. Apologies for the dirty bottle. It's a beautiful cold rose, very cooling fragrance, but also very fresh and uplifting in my opinion. I haven't worn it in a long time, so it's hard to see the bottle in this light, but in short, I'm really looking forward to wearing it. Sunshine Woman by Amouage. You can actually see the sparkles in the bottle now under this lighting. Very interesting. I've tried so hard over the years to get the sparkles to show under my lighting on camera and always failed. So there you go. You just need really crap lighting and suddenly it comes to life. This is a lovely floral fragrance that has a bit of powder, perhaps tonka, a bit of fruity notes, osmanthus to bring out the apricot vibe. I like it in the cooler months because it does have some weight to it and I look forward to wearing it. Number 5, Au Premiere by Chanel. This is staying in because I'm so close to finishing it and I have the low in here as well. I do pull for this a lot when I want to smell clean and fresh. La Chasse aux Papillons by L'Artisan. This is a light, fresh floral. It's more spring than autumn to me, but I love putting this one on to feel really girly and feminine and fresh. I tend to wear it at night time. It has a beautiful linden blossom note which is quite citrusy and fresh, but also still floral. And then down the bottom we have Delina Exclusive, which was a surprise purchase for me. I thought it was way too sweet when I first tried it years ago, but now I love it. French Leather by Mimo Paris is another favourite. This is a spectacular suede rose fragrance and I'm having trouble making it focus. I apologise for that. I will talk about it more in detail in the coming months. I think I've sort of reviewed it on my Instagram stories last year or the year before, but it's probably time to revisit it in more detail. It's just so fresh and classy. Next, I will move to the side shelves and I'll also revert back to the original audio. Okay, so we're nearly done. This top shelf is mostly just all the fragrances I like to wear to the gym or walking the dog, mostly sort of outdoorsy, exercisey type fragrances. I also have a heap of decants that I keep on the top shelf just to remind me to wear them. But here we have By Bozo Richness. This was down in my drawer. I brought it out because I really love this fragrance for, it does a similar thing to me as the Chanel No. 5. It just feels very fresh and clean to me. Here we have Chanel No. 5 Low. Again, just one I've been loving wearing to the gym or to spin class. I put the Dia body lotion on and then I just maybe spritz 1 or 2 spritzes of that over the top. Musk Intense by Nikolai. I really love this. This is a really gorgeous sort of aldehydic rose, and again it's kind of musky and very clean smelling. It's just absolutely phenomenal. I really love this one. This is a Drop d'Issy, and it's a really light, fresh sort of lilac scent. I think it's okay. It's not my favourite, but it sort of smells very clean and fresh. So it's a great one for exercise because it's not overpowering and it doesn't get in anyone's face. Here I have Parle-moi Untitled Roses. I sometimes wear this when I go train with my personal trainer because she really likes this. You know, she thinks I smell nice when I wear it, so I wear it mostly for my trainer, more for my trainer than I do for me. This is a Clean Musk by Sarah Horowitz. This is another really great one to just feel fresh and clean. So it's a very simple fragrance. It's meant to be a base note type of fragrance that you layer other things on top. So it works really well for exercise and things like that. This is an old, tried and true favourite for me in the gym. This is Maison Francis Kurkdjian's Aqua Universalis, and you may or may not be able to see that it's nearly done, so I'll probably finish that up this year. Behind there are my Giovanni Antonelli fragrances. I don't wear them to the gym, but it's just they're sort of travel size bottles, so I just keep them up there. Down here on the second shelf I have mostly my Histoires de Parfum travel sizes. I've got one downstairs as well which I need to bring up, but the rest here are sort of hair perfumes and body sprays of fragrances. So I've got the Delina hair mist, I've got the Mojave Ghost by Byredo hair mist, Chanel No. 5 hair mist. Oh, and this is a travel size of Le Pavillon d'Or by Dusson Edt Parfums. I have Eau Capitale hair mist, the Tom Ford Soleil Blanc body oil, and a Frederic Malle travel size, which I think I have a few different travel size ones for Frederic Malle, but this one I think is Iris Poudre. And then last but not least, in this shelf down here, I just have my Ormond Jane travel lab things that have all the travel sizes in them. And this is Lost Wanderer by PERFUME Parfums. I talked about this in a video recently. I think it was in my Comforting Scents video. I'm really enjoying this, and this is definitely going to get more wear over the next few months because we are coming into the cooler weather. And this is like a spicy tobacco vanilla-y kind of scent, so I really like that. And then last but not least, Weeping Rose by Chasing Scents. I really love this, and I've been wearing it a lot. For early mornings is when I like to wear this. It's a really lovely sort of reflective quiet time scent for me, but I have been known to wear it to work as well. It's really lovely. It's super powerful, so I don't actually have to wear very much of it, which is good because it's only a little bottle, so it's taken me a while to get through it, but I really like that one. And that is it for the fragrances that I have moved into my little cabinet in my bedroom. It is definitely dark outside now, so I need to go and feed the animals. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you do this, if you have little mini rotations that you take out from your broader collection to get more wear out of things, and if so, what are some of the ones that you decided to reach for this time that you had forgotten about? Let me know. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.